go over what you need for this class. It's going to vary a little bit because I'm going to teach you 5 different ways of how to draw motifs for your surface pattern designs. So the very first way is going to be hand-drawn designs that we bring into Illustrator and actually vectorize. So what you need for that is relatively easy. You will need graphite. These are my old pencils from college, and they are a Derwent brand, and they range from H all the way to 9B. So you don't have to have this fancy of a pencil. You can get really any kind of pencil, but if you are planning on doing a lot of sketching, you might want to invest in these. Also, just a little eraser, whatever you have. You will need a black pen. I'm using these fancy Prismacolor ones. This is an 01 size, and this one is a bit thicker. It is an 08 size. Or sorry, wait. Yeah, that's right. So that's what the tip looks like in case you wanted to see. And really any black pen will be fine. You don't have to get this fancy, but that's what I'm using. And just a little sketchbook as well. This is a moleskin sketchbook. The paper really isn't anything nice. It kind of does see through in the back, as you can see. But that's totally fine because when we're hand drawing these types of designs, what we do is we sketch them first with pencil and then draw them over them with pen and scan them in. So really any kind of paper or sketchbook is fine for that. The rest of the work is done in Illustrator. Okay, so to start our sketch, I'm going to open up this little sketchbook. This is just a moleskin sketchbook, and I'm just going to find a blank page in here to start working on. Okay, so that's a great blank page. I have my pencils here, and I'm just going to start with let's see. Let's start with this H pencil. It's a very light pencil, so we'll kind of start sketching light. And I'm just going to create some medallions here for this drawing. So I'm going to kind of start with the center like this. Kind of make it symmetrical. Okay, and then you can get a black pen. I brought 2 over. This one might be, oh, it might work. I don't know. I was worried it might be a little bit too thick, but let's go ahead and try it. So I'll just start here. Yeah, I mean, with this paper, it bleeds a little bit, but I think it'll be okay. So yeah, you're just going to trace over graphite lines you created, and don't worry if it's not looking totally perfect, because that is kind of the point of this type of, drawing, is you want it to have that hand-drawn quality to it. So it's not going to be an exact symmetrical type of motif. am trying to be careful, however, to make sure that these motifs don't touch each other, because when I bring it into Illustrator, I want to be able to grab these individually. Okay, and we're done. Okay, so the next thing we'll want to do is to scan our motif. So just put your sketch on your scanner, and this is just an example of what my scanner looks like. I like to do this in black and white, and I do it at 300 dpi as the resolution, and then I click on the image correction and I do it manually so that I can kind of get the most contrast up front, so that I'm not having to go back and kind of clean this up in Illustrator, or if you were to bring it into Photoshop, same kind of thing. I like it to be super clean when I'm getting my scan. Okay, so first you're just going to want to bring your scan into your Illustrator file, and you can just drag and drop it here. And the next thing we're going to do is create a live trace. So if you go to Object and scroll all the way down and go to go to Image Trace, Make. And then you're going to click on Expand. Okay, so basically what that does is it's created a vector out of your black and white image, which is really cool. Now, I like to have my layers already preset where I have my color palette, my logo, and I have a specific little layer for the design and the scan, and then also the background. So I'm just going to click on the background real quick. It is locked, so it's not going to go anywhere, but you can see how in the scan, it's going to make vectors not only out of the black lines, but also out of the white area. So what you can do is you can just click on it with your arrow and delete that. And you can keep it this way, or you can maybe click on your magic wand tool, click on the white area, it'll select everything that's white that's the same color, and you can click delete. And so if you want to just keep it that way, you totally can. But as for right now, I'm just going to color this design. So another thing I like to do is to use this blob brush to kind of go behind the motif and give it just a little bit like another layer of color, which if you click on it and then you can click the eraser tool, you can kind of go back and get the lines that you want. Okay, so I'm definitely liking this the way it is, so I'm just going to drag over everything and group it so that it is now going to be kind of one solid motif. And I'm just going to go to copy and paste, and you can use the keyboard as well to copy and paste. And I'm just going to create a pattern based on these medallions. And this is kind of that brick layout pattern where I'm coming in between halfway. And it won't technically be in repeat the way I'm doing it like this. I mean, there's a way to get it into repeat, but I'm not going to worry about that for this video. And I do kind of like the randomness because this is a hand-drawn motif that, you know, it's not exactly perfect. Perfectly placed in terms of the alignment. But another thing I can do is create a, this is 10 by 10. Yeah. Okay, and so then I'm just going to click on the black arrow and come over to align. I want to align to the artboard. Click the center, middle, and then I want to drag over everything. I'm going to come to Object, Clipping Mask, Make, and then that clips my pattern into the artboard. And I'm just going to double click on this to be able to move everything. I'm going to group all of these motifs together, and then I am just going to center it from top to bottom there. Maybe I'll do it in the middle too. There we go. And then I'm going to double click off. So now you can see exactly how this pattern looks.